So this is my Gmurphy pre-release review. Now, her kit has dropped. I have gone over it. Discord has gone over it. Widely agreed. S tier. In fact, she's probably too strong and probably going to be one of the first units that gets a nerf rather than a buff. Even though they don't do nerfs. Because she just power creeps every fucking mechanic in the entire game. Now, I like blue. But I think she's too strong. I'm gonna have to remove someone from S tier. In keeping with my rule of, only X unit in S tier. That's how strong she is that I'm considering moving one of the S tier champions down. Now let's go over Kit and why she's too strong. Main reason, the numbers and the text are everywhere. She does everything. Now let's look at her stats. Her stats are average. If you just look at her stats right here, you think, oh, it's not that bad. She has average attack, average defense, below average constitution, right? And her stats being key flare and crit damage. The key flare is very nice. We all knew she was going to be a key flare wizard. Crit damage, does she really need it? Not really. But the reason why she's so strong is that she buffs Blue Realm. Having her on your team evolves the entire realm mechanic. She's already one of the most unique kits in the entire game. Compared to any other unit that's released this year. This is insane. Just look over all the fucking text. This is just what she does by having her on your team. This is not playing cards. This is just by having her exist. She does all this. Now, let me go. This spreadsheet, which I have for personal use, I have it to compare other Awakers. So look at Pollux. This is only his talent. See how small the text is on talents? Yeah. Dog shit kit. Let's look at Pikmin. Wow. Small kit. Let's look at Calf. Yeah. Look, only this, and she's completed. Look at Dorothy. Yeah. This is 3 lines and hopes and prayers. This is a nothing. Go back to Gmurphy. It was so long, had to create another section to put what she does. That's how big her kit is from just existing, not from the cards. We haven't even gotten to the cards yet. I'll go over it. So, in the Divine Realm Awakener, which is the buff blue realm, by just having her on your team, technical damage now deals 5% of your team's max HP. So this opens up avenues. You want high HP Awakener. You don't even need Blue Realm. You can put in the Salvador. She works the Salvador team. Buff your HP. Let's say you have 3,000, 4,000 HP. 5% of that added to your technical damage. 5% of, let's say, 3,000, which is more reasonable than 4,000. 4,000 is really hard to get unless you whale out. But let's say 3,000 HP, for example. 5% of that. Let's do the math. 1,000 is 50, for example. Wait, let me make sure. 10% of 1,000 is 100, 5% is 50. Again, 50. 150 technical damage for 3,000 HP. 150 is quite large. 150 is quite large for starting technical damage. That is huge. Also, just by having her on your team, you get a damage amplification. Flat base damage buff of 50%. Just by having her on your team. Not playing cards, not investing in Soulforge, and it's doubled if your team's only yellow or blue units. Now, how strong is that, Flares? I don't understand. Well, what other unit released this year that had something similar to that? It is G-Doll. Except for it requires Soulforge. Let's go find the G-Doll. It's under Chaos right now. So G-Doll, Soulforge, maxed out. Base damage 15%. Start of exploration. Yeah, this is 15 fucking percent. This is a Awakener that released this year. It's not an old Awakener. It's not this is insane power creep beyond insanity. That is 15 and you have to invest Soulforge. This is 50. This is 50 right now. So 50%. Great. And it's doubled, so it's 100% team amplification. So, what is removed? Tentacle Gathering Effect. So, basically, all the stances will be changed and buffed. Now, these are the new effects. So, White Stance now has a cooldown. These are, as I refer to, JP buffs. If you guys played a JP version, this is almost the exact same as the nerf blue, except for its buff numbers. In the JP version, all of their standards got nerfed, all of their limited awakers got buffed, which is what's happening now. They're buffing all the limited awakers, meaning Gmurphy, by 10%. Or 10 levels, not 10%, 10 levels. So that's because everyone memed too hard about Jenkins being stronger than Pollux. And so they're buffing up every limited awaker so they can't have a situation where a standard awaker is better than a limited awaker. And Jenkins still better, by the way, because it's crit damage. It doesn't affect anything. But yeah, it is 10% more stats, 10 levels more. I don't know why I keep saying 10%. So this is shield equals to 25% HP, 10 equals no longer attack. That's the exact same of JP version, 3 turn cooldown. Now, Red Stance. This is technical damage is increased 125% in turn. After dealing 1 technical damage. This is the exact same stuff for his 3 turn cooldown. So this is a sort of a nerf buff, etc. But now Realm Mastery buff change. So shield generation increase, blah blah blah. It's almost the same, except for the effect is doubled here if it's around there. So it's almost the same. This is inconsequential because most of you guys don't have Realm Mastery. You're not going to build Realm Mastery. I don't recommend it. You have other covenants to build. So basically, you can ignore this portion. You're not going to build it. You don't have the resources to. Even long-term players don't have money to shell out for a new covenant to take this in effect. It's a nice buff. This is nice. Don't get me wrong. This is very nice right here, the Realm Mastery, but you can't afford it. Just pretend it doesn't exist. So Soul Forge, again, we're not going over the kit yet. She's already as tier. We're not going over her skills yet. There's more. I'm like, Billy Mays here. There's fucking more. So, Soul Forge Aptitude. What it do? So, if you invest the Soul Forge in Arc 2 talents, this is Arc 2 only, not Chapters 1 for 9. If it's Chapter 1 for 9, you ignore this. So, every time she does damage, she inflicts sacrifice dice equals to 10 to 50% of the damage dealt on the target. And the Covenant State Birth Ritual stack effects increases double. This is a permanent. She's basically better at Pollux. This is basically better Pollux. Because unlike Bleed, it's sacrifice stacks. You know what sacrifice does. It's traditional Bleed in other games. Sometimes they're removed. Corollary. Sometimes it is removed on the units on her kit. Sometimes some of it is permanent, some of it is removed. So it's basically better Bleed. She's already better than Pollux. Because she gets this right now. Remember, Pollux, after you rouse him, he gets Bleed stacks equal to how many sin marks you have. You don't start off with sin marks. Right now, this is basically 50%. If you put Soul Forge 10, this is a base 50%. Just imagine a 50% bleed right off the bat, turn 1. If you rouse her, turn 1. Pollux needs several turns to build that up. It's already power creep another Awaker. Now, there's more. For every Lemurian Awaker, Lemurian Awakers are Miriam, Goliath, Tulu, Pharaohs, and there's one more. I'm missing it, but I'll talk about it later. Every Lemurian Awaker on your team, you get max HP buff, 6, 15, 30%. 6, 15, 30%, and gain a shield equal to 50, 125, 250% of Murphy's defense. Anytime any Awaker uses an Exalt. This is basically Devour from Carol Realm without the Devour part. You don't need to do it. So it's limited once per turn. This is great. So 250. At a level 60 Murphy, 250 of that if you have 3 Lemurian Awakers, it is essentially almost a 300 shield. And remember, if you wail out on her, if you invest a lot, level 90 Murphy with the limited Awaker buffs, it's going to hit like around 450, 500. I'm doing quick math off the head. Shields, every time an Awaker. That's like a 500 shield right there if you wail her out. But 300 shield if you have 3 Lemurian Awakers. Again, corollary or point, you won't have this effect. Because I think the best teams are not going to be with Lemurian Awakers. She's too good just to pigeonhole yourself into making a Lemurian Awaker team. Because there's so few units that count as Lemurian Awakers. And most of them aren't good. Most of them aren't good. Let's be honest here. So these are the Lemurian Awakers. Just by having her on your team, she buffs these units. If you have 2 on your team, now all enemies receive 10 to 50% more tentacle damage. Yeah. That is power creep. That is power creep. You know why? You know who else has that exact same talent? That exact same thing? Corpo and Miriam. So let's go, take it out of your mind, 10 to 50%. Let's go to Miriam Soulforge. How about a 5? Yeah? All 10 no damage increased by 9% is 10% and scales up. I don't have it maxed out. So for each Lemurian Awakener on your team, further increased by 2%. So it's flat plus every Lemurian Awakener. This is exact same. This buff happened this year. I do not need to explain to you that 2% is lower than 50%. Then you have 3 Lemurian Awakeners on your team, plus Miriam, it's 8%. But each Lemurian Awakener, I think they don't count Miriam, I think it's 6%, so 6%. I don't need to tell you, unless you're some kind of, old trash player who, you shouldn't be watching this video, you're playing old trash. This is too complicated for you, dude. But, look, 50% more technical damage. Just by having her on your team. Even if you only have Tulu, you don't have any other Lemurian Awakeners. Only Tulu and Gmurphy, 10%. This is better than Miriam's whole talent that she got this year. This year, by the way. This year. This is not like an old kit. And more than that, let's look at Corpo. New unit this year, just this summer. All enemies, 10% more technical damage. Let me go back. This is power creep. This is the biggest power creep we've ever had in Morimens history. Everything about her kit is power creep. And there's more. Again, I can stop now and she'd be S tier. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Miriam, if you have Miriam on your team, guess what? She buffs Miriam more. More technical damage, 10 to 20%. And if there are more Lemurian Awakeners on your team, there are additional 6 to 30%. Just read out this. Just read this out, motherfucker. Just read this. Just look at the numbers. Are you seeing the power creep? No other unit in the game. And she just keeps getting more technical damage. Out of nowhere. She's pulling it from the Aether. Now, let's go over the week 2 Lemurian Awakeners, Goliath and Pharaohs. Goliath, base damage by Goliath, but 20-50%. Again, I and most players play Goliath as a support. He is getting buffed, so this might change. And this strength generation, 30%, it's nice. I wouldn't put a Goliath on this team. I'll put a Rita or Corporal, they don't count. But I would rather put them than a Goliath. Pharaohs, again. This is nice. It's another 100% damage application. However, Pharaohs' kit does not make up for putting her on your team, unfortunately. This is huge. But remember my rant about baskets? Those of you who watched my tier list video, the fucking damage basket, you fucking nerds. Any of you guys who've played Diablo or any ARPG know what damage baskets are. And guess what? We have too much damage amp in this damage basket. We need to find another fucking basket to fill our load with. Our damage amp load is too high already. She already gives a lot of damage amp, And that just adds on it. It's not more damage amp. We want another multiplier. We want damage instances from another basket. So you wouldn't really want the Pharaohs here. It's not worth it. Now, if her kit was better, if this was like Corporal or Rita, then sure. But her kit does not justify putting her on this team. So Goliath and Pharaohs, you can ignore them. Tulu, Miriam, you can put them in. Plus another one. Plus Murphy. Plus Salvador. Anyone. So, again, I can stop the video now. S tier. S tier. Let's go over her skills, okay? Let's go over her skills. Skill 1. Gain 94 shields. Suffer sacrifice equal to 10% of max HP starting next turn. This is her exalt. And Birth Ritual. What is Birth Ritual? Each stack inflicts sacrifice stacks equal to 1% of damage dealt. So basically it stacks up to 75 and is removed at turn's end. So basically by inflicting this on the enemy, every 1% or X% of damage, up to 75% of damage you dealt, it gives the enemy sacrifice stacks. This is better bleed. You know why sacrifice is better bleed? It's bleed from other games. Basically it ticks, it halves, and next turn it ticks again. Keeps ticking. Half, Ticks, then halves. Ticks and halves. Ticks and halves. It's not a one-off scenario like bleed. However, it's worse than poison, which is permanent. However, sacrifice is not subjected to caps. There is a poison cap. There is a counter cap in Arc 2. This is insane. I do not need to say why it's insane. So, you gain a shield, and you sacrifice equal to 10% max HP. So, but if you have a Murphy, you have other cards, you don't care about your sacrifice stacks. So, deal blah, blah, blah damage, 150% tentacle damage boost. Lots of damage. This is huge. It may not seem like much, but for a base value skill, 500 base value, this is large. This is comparable to a Dorosine 3 cost. So remember, this is just the base damage. This is not the actual final damage. So you have to compare it to the base card text of other units you have, and it's quite large. Now let's look at Dorosine to compare. Any of you guys Dorosine? How much is his base damage? Yeah. 253. So think of it as double the damage of a Dirge at level 16. This is level 70 Dorosine, by the way. So is basically already better than fucking Clem's Exalt. Because Clem is fucking dog shit. So over Exalt. It gives you another 5 stacks of Birth Ritual. However, you ignore this. Her over Exalt is fucking broken. It gives you 3 Waltz of Lemuria with Prepare and Exhaust. Prepare and fucking Exhaust. And it already has Retain. This is the most power creep card in the entire game. Any of you have played CSEZN, any of you have played Mika, any of you have played any card game. This is Pot of Greed on steroids. This is not Pot of Greed. This is everything on steroids. Waltz of Lemuria. So with Prepare, Retain. This is Waltz. I'll go over Arouse in a second. This is Waltz of Lemuria. It is a 3 cost. However, this generates 3 2 costs with Prepare, which means every turn you hold it in your hand, the cost is reduced by 1. Now, look at this. 300% Key Flare regen. More than dogshit Clem. More than dogshit Clem. Let me tell you that. Dogshit Clem. More than most Key Flare units. 300%. Do I need to tell you why 300% is good? Do I need to tell you why Key Flare is good? No, you know. Because I trust you read all my other videos. Watch all my other guides. If it only did this, it would have been fine. It would have been fine because it has Prepare, Exhaust, Prepare. That means you can play it for a 0 cost of entry. However, sometimes you may not. Not only does it do that, depending on which stance you do, blue, white, red stance, it has an additional effect. Blue stance, 30 tentacle damage, level 60, generate 1 tentacle. White stance, gain a shield. Retain 50% of the shield to the next turn. Retain 50% of the shield to next turn. That means she goes with Caster. That means she goes with any shield unit. This retain 50% is by far one of the most broken effects in the game. How do you know it's broken, players? You are just glazing her. Well, unlike other dog shit content creators, I back up my statements. So, where else do we have retain? Let's look at the only wheel that has retain. Look at this. Retain 40% of remaining shield. It scales up to 50. But however, it's restricted by up to 20% if you have the E3 of your max HP. Hello? You fucking garbage piece of shit player? Okay? Look. Here's the proof. In her kit is a fucking wheel. It's a wheel. Why run this when you have Gmurphy? This is power creep. She puts a wheel in her kit. That's just what? What? And it's not restricted to X% of your health. That means your shield is not wasted. You can pair her with Caster. You can pair her with any unit. She's one of the most flexible units. She's gonna get nerfed. Normally I say this unit has to get buffed. This is my first video where I'm saying like, this is too strong. She has to get nerfed. Like, why? Why are they doing this? It's too strong. It's too strong. Like, look, tentacle damage, 30, generate 1 tentacle. Do I need to tell you how strong 30 tentacle damage is? And this is only her stat at level 60. At level 90, this is like 60. Or like, it's actually like around 50 if you're being honest. But remember, the Arc 2 buff, the Arc 2 Talent Soul Forge will buff around the 50, 60 range. But What does that power creep? Every other Awakener in the game. Every other Awakener in the game, it power creeps. It's as strong as a fucking relic. It power creeps Arita. It power creeps everything. So listen to the level 65 Arita. Look at this. Her 2-cost card. 12 tentacle damage. Do I need to tell you why 12 is less than 30? Remember, I invested in an Arita. This is maxed out Arita. Right here. Did he tell you why 12 is less than 30? And it's only for 3 mana and gets cheaper? And that's the only level 660 Gmurphy. This is level 65, Arita. Let's look at Corporal. Everyone's favorite tentacle damage scaler, right? For pilots. This is, 4 tentacle damage for each pilot. Oh, so you'd only have to have, let's see, roughly 8 pilots to match up to 1 card, yeah. So it's most of your hand size, yeah. 8 pilots to make up for 1 of Gmurphy's cards in blue stands. That seems fair. That seems fair, folks, right? Right? Not only, yeah, those are 2 best tentacle damage goes. Let's look at someone else. Let's look at Tulu. Wow. 4/4/4. Do I need to tell you how much 30 is? Let's go on my max account relic right now. Let's go to my max account relic right now. So let's go on to our relic that does that. That is insanely good. That this is the only thing that's comparable. A relic in R2 max out account level. And it's on a 3 turn cooldown. Divide this by 3. Divide this by fucking 3. It's about roughly 23. It's 23 tentacle damage for a white version. Again, upgrade version is doubled right now. But again, divide it by 3. It's basically a relic. No cooldown. Play as many times as you want. You can put dreams on her. Make more of this. This is the best tentacle scaling in the game. And it gives you Key Flare. It gives you a tentacle. It gives you shit. And red stands obviously damage. And it's retained. You can have it whenever you want. Now, Abyss Him. You can delete. You notice the trend here? Like, you can delete everything and keep 1 part of her kit. And she still be S tier. Abyss Him is Pot of Greed on steroids. It's draw 2, get 2 mana. It's draw 2, get 2 fucking mana. Let me repeat that. It's draw 2, get 2 mana. It's draw 2, get 2 mana. It's draw 2, get 2 mana. I need to keep repeating this so you can get it for your brain. How strong this card is. How it power creeps every fucking draw mana unit in the game. It power creeps, and it's a 0 cost. You know, Hamlin's an S tier. We all value him because of his memory rondo. It costs 3. However you play it. However, it's 3. 2 insights. Draw 2, get 2, but it costs 3. This costs 0. This costs 0, boys. You can say it gives you strength. It's free. It's Pot of Greed. Ultra turn? Ultra got power crept. The entire realm got power crept. Remember Ultra, the Annihilate? 1 draw, 1 mana. Very good. This is 2 mana, 2 draw. This is 2 mana, 2 draw. Holy shit, it's 2 mana, 2 draw. I'm gonna keep repeating this so you get this for your fucking brain. Pot of Greed. That gives you 2 mana. You can remove the mana and it still be good. You can remove the draw and it still be good. Having them both together is game breaking. It's game breaking. Strike defense, basic. You can remove them. And there's nothing that buffs her besides her E3. Strike defense is meh. I'm not gonna rate that highly. It's not that good. Average. Now let's go over Enlightenments. Her kit gets better, by the way. Okay, reading this, you can have her at E0. She'll still be S tier. This is before her Enlightenments, by the way. E1. Waltz of Lemuria. What? The card that I said it was broken? The 3 cost? There's more? What's the lore? Technical damage, shield generation, final damage, 10%. Additional 2.2% increase for each key flare regen. That's Clem, but better. Look at this. It buffs this card. For each point of key flare regen, you get, let's say, 100 key flare regen. That's a 20% buff. That's a 20% buff. And additional, so it's 30%. 30% final damage. That's your basket, folks. 30% more technical damage. What the fuck is this? 30% more shield gen. It is... What? What? E2. This is not going to affect that much. I'm going to be honest. This is not going to affect... This seems nice. However, it's per tentacle. It's hard to scale up tentacles. You need to play a lot of cards to scale up tentacles. So just pretend this doesn't matter. Crit rate is not real. I'm a believer that RNG and crit isn't real. Whether you crit or not and how much crit damage you do is between you and your god. Okay? Nothing else. Stop relying on calculators. Stop relying on stuff. Whether you crit or not is between you and God. Okay? Between you and Muhammad, you and Jesus, you and Odin, you and Zeus, whatever god you believe in. You and your ancestors. You and Steve Jobs, okay? That's what it matters. So E2, worthless in my book. It's all these minus little percentiles, dude. Doesn't matter. It's between you and God. So, Profane Apocalypse. This is broken. This is Pikmin, but better. Whenever you strike or defense, you draw an Abyss Hymn. You draw Pot of Greed. So all you're saying, Pot of Greed can't be that good. You can't guarantee it every hand. You can. You can. Just play a strike or defense. You draw it. You draw it. Just removes variance from the game. Is this even a roguelike deck builder anymore? There's no roguelike. You know you're going to win anyway. You have Pot of Greed. She goes into every fucking team comp in the game. One of the most flexible units in the game. You don't even have to play her with blue. She's just a good unit based on this kit. You can just ignore her 10 paragraphs of fucking talents and just play her as a Pot of Greed unit. Just play her as Pot of Greed. And let's look at her wheel. Hand size. Ignore everything else. This wheel could spit on your face, burn your house down, sell off your kids to some slave factory, okay, sweatshop, and you'll still pull on this wheel. This wheel could cost you your marriage, and you'll still pull on it just because it's hand size, dude. Hand size wheels are broken. And not only is hand size, it buffs her key flare regen, which in turn buffs her waltz. Yeah. And it's final damage. One of the best damage multipliers in the game because of the damage back it gets. You ignore the shield gen, you don't really care, but final damage in this is already good. Already a must pull. Look at this. Switching to white stance, give you 30 ailments. 3 turn cooldown. Red stance inflicts sacrifice stacks on enemies. Yeah. Yeah. She is the most broken unit I have ever seen. She's probably going to get nerfed. I'm going to be honest here. She's probably going to nerf. There's no way she's not getting nerfed. Even though they have said they will not nerf a character, I think she power creeps every fucking niche, every fucking unit in the game. Like, literally every unit in the game.